777, aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so here it is again, the Star Wars information for you. So let's get right into it. Star Wars Celebration 2019 Chicago is now about 75 days away. Can you believe it? It's ticking away, 75 days away. Now, to more information about Star Wars Celebration, weekly I'm here with Star Wars news, views, reviews, interviews, as you know. But later in the show, I will be giving you some information through my interviews sort of section about what you may want to know for Star Wars Celebration Chicago 2019. I was at 2017 Orlando, so I have some experience, but anyway, let's get on with more news. Star Wars Celebration announces more guests. That's right, more guests. We're going to have the actor who played Chewbacca in Solo, even The Force Awakens, even The Last Jedi. The newer actor is who played Chewbacca, and we're going to have the voice for Darth Maul. That's some of the guests. I don't know the exact names right now, but they have been announced. Check out the website, StarWarsCelebration.com. To more news, Star Wars Celebration has released some poster art. I don't know if it's the official in a headlining poster, but it seems to be sort of that type of feel. Very colourful sort of presentation, highlighting Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader at the very top. Noticeable absences from the poster I noticed was C-3PO and Poe Dameron. They weren't in the poster, so C-3PO, could this be an end? I don't know, but check out the poster, Star Wars Celebration poster. You can check that out through this site as well. So that's pretty much the news for this time around. Again, later in the show, Star Wars Celebration, some information, questions type of thing. So anyway, let's get on with the views. Views is not about the amount of viewage one gets on YouTube. It's not predictions. It's my story ideas that I have for the Star Wars saga. It depends on what area it is. It could be a Star Wars story, it could be the saga films, it could be the animation, whatever. But let's concentrate on Episode 9. Star Wars Episode 9, which is coming out later this year. Can you believe it? This year. And one of the characters, Rey, the mysterious Rey with her parents and things like that, we don't know who they are, if she has them or she doesn't have them. At this stage, she doesn't have them, but what should be done with the character of Rey, which is played by Daisy Ridley, by the end of Episode 9? I personally think not to kill her off is an important aspect to the business of Star Wars, because you kill her off, then you will have hardly anything to promote the next set of films. If you're going to do a whole lot of other films, that will kill that area. It will be less of a sell at that period of time for those next films to be promoted. But also, I think killing the character Rey, it's not justified. It's a bit too sudden. What I would like to see happen is Rey sort of have an exit similar to Ezra in Rebels, similar to Ahsoka in the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars animated series, especially the exit when she left the Jedi Order. It had just an impact, and it had sort of a bit of a closure sort of to it. Even how Kanan had an exit in Rebels, but he died. This is the only problem. Bit of a spoiler there. But I would like to have a mysterious end. Not a cliffhanger, but more like something where she's sent maybe in the unknown regions, and the story could continue without being a cliffhanger, if you can understand. And especially the unknown regions, because if you think about it, if they go to Episode 10, the Roman numeral is an X, and that technically is unknown. It's the unknown. It's a way of saying unknown. And I think exploring from that point the unknown regions, as apparently there's an unknown regions in the galaxy of Star Wars, and having Rey, the character, disappear in that would be a really good entrance to episode 10. I think it'd be great. Personally, that's what I'd like to see happen to Rey. A mysterious end, not a cliffhanger to be continued sort of thing, but more like of a closure sort of feel. More similar to the Ezra from Rebels. Ezra, the character that is from Rebels. That's what I would like to see. That's my story idea for this time around. It's very brief, but something about episode 9 that is. Anyway, so let's move on to reviews. Reviews this time around is going to be about the Star Wars Celebration Chicago 2019 poster art. Whether it's the official absolute poster, I'm unsure. But a couple of things come to mind. It's very colourful. It's very electro sort of look. It's got a very 80s sort of feel. Mark Hamill has got the younger look with the, no beard. So maybe we're going to see him in this film without a beard. I don't know. Predominant at the top with Darth Vader. We may see Darth Vader. That could be a hint. I did say earlier in the show that there was no C-3PO in the actual poster. I thought that was interesting. No Poe Dameron. That was interesting. I thought the poster was very graphic design, sort of almost a classic Star Wars looking sort of collage type poster that you get for one of the movies with a sort of an electro feel, like 80s electro feel to it. I thought it was good. It was a good poster. I wouldn't say it's, impactful. I thought a really good poster in the Star Wars history. I actually thought the very first The Last Jedi poster was really good, where they had to split Mark Hamill and Adam Driver with Rey in the middle with the lightsaber. I thought that was a very good. That very first intro poster that we got at Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, I thought that was great. Another great Star Wars poster was the very first Phantom Menace poster, can you believe that? With the shadow of Darth Vader in Tatooine with the little Anakin Skywalker. I thought that was a great poster. This one, doesn't get up to that level. It's very good. I give it 8 out of 10. That's what I think. 8 out of 10 for the Star Wars Celebration Chicago 2019 poster art. We're calling it at the moment. It's very good. So I'm wanting and wishing for more. Anyway, that will very much come sooner than we think. I'm noticing that Star Wars Celebration is really hitting us almost weekly at the moment with things. So I think there could be some big news very soon. I don't know. Maybe like, autograph announcements, things like that. But anyway, let's get into interviews. That was reviews. Let's get into interviews. 2 questions. And I'm concentrating on Star Wars Celebration. And I'll say it once again. Chicago 2019. Really excited at the moment. 75 days. So here's a couple of questions. What are the most popular panels at Star Wars Celebration? If you don't know what a panel is, for starters, it's basically a big sort of presentation on a stage with either one person or people presenting their sort of personality or something about Star Wars in the actual story, and sort of having about an hour show. It goes for about an hour. What are the most popular panels? Definitely day 1 and day 2 last time in Orlando. Day 1 was the 40th anniversary celebration special. They had all the big heads there. John Williams played music. George Lucas was there. Harrison Ford was there. Even Christian Haydenson, I think, was there. I think I've misplaced his name a little at the moment, but it was that was big. But the bigger panel was the next day, The Last Jedi, and it was really hard to go to these two because it was 2 days in a row. So you had to sort of line up, watch a show, get back in line almost, and line up again. And I did that, can you believe? I did that with a little bit of a break in between. But boy, it was tough going by that second day. After that second panel, oh my God, the tired fatigue was there, but it was, the adrenaline keeps you going. So one of the most popular panels, definitely the episode 9 panel, will definitely be a big one. I think also The Mandalorian, as it's getting a lot of attention, I think that's going to be a great panel. But I think what they may do is a Disney Plus panel. Disney Plus is the new streaming network by Disney that will introduce to us a lot of Marvel stuff, as well as Star Wars stuff, as well as other stuff that Disney do. But I think that could be a panel if they had it. I don't know. But day 1 and day 2, prepare yourself for hardly any sleep and a lot of waiting in line. But some 2 great sort of panels. You will be excited. It's a lot of work for a small amount of time, but it's worth it. If you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, I urge you to get in that line early. Anyway, so they're the most popular panels. It will be definitely day 1, day 2, unless they move the bigger panels to later in the schedule. I don't know, but I think they'll use 1 and 2, the day 1 and day 2 as the big schedule panels. But yeah, get yourself there early in those lines, day 1 and day 2, the big panels, especially episode 9 panel. Anyway, to more, the second question for Interviews 2Q with Star Wars Celebration Chicago 2019. There we go once again. I just said it again. Lining up for 2 days. How do you do this? Mentally, you've just got to not think about the time. You've just got to experience the people in that line. Get yourself a little bit of sleep. Get yourself a little bit of food. Maybe have the computer with you, maybe have a Wi-Fi service of your own with your own, maybe hotspotting if you can. It's probably a better way to do it. I don't think you're going to be able to upload big YouTube sort of videos that way, or big whatever it is. But, prepare yourself for the first 2 days of being just intense. Like, especially lining up and the fatigue and being on a floor. Like, they don't give you a bed. They don't give you pillows. You are there with your backpack and whatever you got in your backpack. I suggest, again, putting some sort of pillow, blanket type of thing. Wear a hoodie, as I've said, to keep yourself warm, with a t-shirt underneath, because it does get hot and cold. It depends on if you're outside or inside. Anyway, so the first 2 days, lining up for 2 days, how you prepare yourself is just don't think about the time, but just experience and enjoy the fun of the fans around you. Make friends with that next person there. They'll want to talk Star Wars with you, unless they really don't want to talk Star Wars with you. But I find that very highly unusual. I noticed that the line I was in last time was very, a lot of communication. People I was with the last time were great. Oh my God, it was just coincidence that I hooked up with some great people there, American people. They were obviously not Australian. I was there by myself, and then I met these people. Just met them there, and the line was great. Anyway, so that's my second question: is how do you really enjoy those 2 days? The first 2 days, just don't think about the time. Just line up and enjoy and experience the fun of the other Star Wars fans. Keep your mind off everything else at that time. Anyway, so they're my questions for this time around for Star Wars Celebration. If you have any questions, please Instagram me or even Twitter me if you like, or even send me a question via YouTube. I'm here on a weekly basis. Subscribe to this channel, The Force Always, only on YouTube. And if you have any particular questions, especially with Star Wars Celebration coming up shortly, I can answer those if you like, and that's it. If you have any other type of questions, just ask me that as well. It's up to you. So again, subscribe to the channel, The Force Always. Be a Patreon supporter if you like. Go to patreon.com. Check me out at The Force Always. Support the channel that way. If you're not, I'm here still on a weekly basis, giving us news, views, reviews, and interviews. That's what I do. Anyway, until next time, my friends. Keep rocking.